Okay, this video is about being objective when making arguments from either side of the creation, evolution, atheist, theist debate. And the reason I'm making this is because I've noticed that the majority of videos, I think, from either side of the creationism, evolution debate or the atheist, theist debate is the majority of the videos are just preaching to the choir. And not only that, but they're intentionally insulting the other side, whichever that may be. And I've noticed that it's a pattern that atheists will continually ridicule, especially Christians, because America is predominantly Christian. And I'm guilty of this myself. I'm not trying to get out of it. But I've noticed that there's been too little actual communication between the two sides, and making insults, it doesn't help the evidence for either side. It only inflames the problem and obscures the actual substance of the arguments that are being made. And this has sort of become clear to me because one of my my heroes, Sam Harris, he's up there with Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, and people like them. And what separates him, I think, from most of the well-known atheists is that he's very objective in his arguments. He very rarely makes a negative comment toward a religion just to do so. He's very calm, which is a huge one on YouTube. People need to be more calm about the subjects they're making. I know oftentimes emotions are invested on both sides, surprisingly. But people need to be more calm, and they need to talk about only the evidence or their reasons for taking either side, because what's happening is that it's just name calling and nothing's really getting done because people are too busy arguing and calling each other names and making up slang terms for one another. Like I've seen countless videos where it's just creationists talking about evotards or something, and then there'll be response videos by people who accept evolution calling them creotards or any number of stupid and completely pointless names that have just been made up to ridicule the other side. And what prompted me to make this video, aside from this, is because earlier today I was in correspondence via comments with someone who disagreed with me on a fairly important subject, the subject of homosexuality and whether or not that is a sin, innate or environmentally caused. Is it a choice? And I have a very strong opinion on this point. But what was so refreshing was that the creator of this video was so intentionally kind. That there was a direct effort to be clear, to be calm, to be honest, and I commented in kind. I was calm and tried to be pleasant while still getting my ideas across, trying to be objective. And what followed was a series of comments where we talked even less about the actual topic that the video is about, and solely about what can happen when people with vastly different viewpoints can come together and unify and talk in a civilized manner. And I know that there are like YouTube talk shows and radio broadcasts that are streaming on YouTube where people go on and they have civilized talks and debates and things like this, but the majority of YouTube is nothing like those. The majority of YouTube is just scrap, apathetic people getting away with, calling people names and making no real substance and trolling and it is honestly, after spending months on YouTube examining the arguments and examining different viewpoints and all different kinds of people arguing these different viewpoints, it is so refreshing to talk to someone with whom you could have a calm discussion about the facts, or even just a discussion where you're not frustrated or angry or upset by the other person because of what they're saying, because oftentimes issues are so big that people don't see any room to compromise, and this happens to me a lot, because I think there are some issues that are so important to humanity that there shouldn't be room to compromise. But I think what people need to learn is that being humble isn't about humility when you could be wrong. Being humble is about having humility when you know you're right. And so I think from both sides, because of any real debate, both sides need to calmly listen to the other side and respect the other side. That's the most important thing, because people on YouTube, they have zero respect for one another, and so they start out making fun of one another, maybe getting some evidence out there, calling them stupid for not seeing the same ways that they do, and it just spirals out of control to name calling and trolling and all these things. But I think the important thing is that people need to be humble about their opinions of how the world works, because whether you're humble or not, the evidence will speak for you. So instead of being an asshole about things and having evidence, and angering the other person so that they don't even listen to the evidence and just respond with another comment that's, asshole-ish, people need to be humble and objective about arguments and let the evidence or their beliefs speak for or against their arguments. And I think something few atheists and theists realize is that so much more can be accomplished when both sides are unified on common ground. And when both sides are so polarized, such as in the evolution creationism debate or the atheist and theist debate, not the only common ground, but a lot of the common ground that can be found is in being polite and in reaching a point of mutual respect, so that the true validity of arguments can come out. And when the bullying stops, and when the fake arguments and the insults end, then I think atheists, theists, people who accept evolution, creationists, there will be so much more progress that's made, because people will be connecting on a level that they never could before, because they can never fight through the stupid people that make stupid comments about how the other side of the argument is just completely idiotic. And it would be a great day when everyone on YouTube can come to expect at the very least polite presentations of arguments against one another. And again, I am very guilty of being rude in my presentation of arguments, especially in my videos. and it's something that I need to develop more, is because I've realized that so much more can be accomplished when you're all on the same side, so to speak, even though you can have vastly different views about things. So I want to give a special thanks to the YouTube user LivingingraceWOTW for having the conversation with me today that inspired this video. So thank you.